Good morning and welcome to the market opening bell on Wednesday, June 18th. On Tuesday, Hong Kong stocks initially rose but later declined. The Hang Seng Index opened 46 points higher and briefly climbed 70 points to 24,131, but lost momentum and fell below 24,000, hitting a low of 23,880, down 180 points. It closed at 23,980, down 80 points or 0.3%. The Hang Seng China Enterprises Index dropped 35 points or 0.4% to 8,694, and the Hang Seng Tech Index fell 8 points or 0.2% to 5,291. Total market turnover was 202.1 billion Hong Kong dollars. Southbound funds net purchased 6.302 billion Hong Kong dollars in Hong Kong stocks, including 1.122 billion in China Construction Bank, 599 million in Alibaba, 271 million in PopMart, 222 million in Meituan, 220 million in Xiaomi, 165 million in Nanjing Panda Electronics, and 130 million in Zhong'an Online. However, they net sold 713 million in Tencent Holdings and 617 million in CSPC Pharmaceutical. Southbound funds have net sold Tencent for 13 consecutive days, totaling 15.43 billion Hong Kong dollars, and China National Offshore Oil for 4 days, totaling 1.651 billion, while net buying China Construction Bank for 5 days, totaling 3.74 billion, and Meituan for 3 days, totaling 2.555 billion. As of June 17th, Shanghai Hong Kong Stock Connect recorded a trading volume of 7.13 trillion Hong Kong dollars, and Shenzhen Hong Kong Stock Connect 4.39 trillion, with total southbound trading volume reaching 11.52 trillion, surpassing the full year 2024 total of 11.23 trillion. Net buying this year includes 493.1 billion via Shanghai Connect and 193.9 billion via Shenzhen Connect, far exceeding last year's levels. Technically, the Hang Seng Index found support near the 20-day moving average of 23,700, but faces pressure from Middle East tensions and uncertainties in China-US trade talks. Failing to hold above 24,000, it is expected to fluctuate between 23,700 and 24,200 in the short term. Mainland China markets also rose initially but closed lower. The Shanghai Composite Index closed at 3,387, down 1 point, and the Shenzhen Component Index fell 12 points or 0.1% to 10,151. Combined turnover was 1.207 trillion yuan. The yuan to dollar central parity rate was set at 7.1746, up 43 pips, hitting a 3-month high. In the US, Regent Cell Bioscience, listed as RGC, surged over 2.8 times on Monday with multiple circuit breakers and has risen over 50 times year to date. This boosted Hong Kong Brain Computer Interface concept stocks, with Nanjing Panda Electronics soaring 38% and Microport Neurotech rising nearly 18.5%. Brain-computer interface technology captures brain signals such as electrical activity or blood oxygen changes to interact directly with external devices like computers or prosthetics without muscle involvement, aiming for seamless brain-machine communication. Types include invasive, where electrodes are implanted in the brain, like Neuralink's N1 chip, offering clear signals but requiring risky surgery. Non-invasive, which records brain waves via the scalp, like EEG saver but with weaker signals suited for simple tasks. And semi-invasive, with electrodes on the brain's surface, balancing risk and signal quality. Applications span medical uses such as helping paralyzed or ALS patients controlled wheelchairs, or generate speech-enhanced functions like brain control games, virtual reality, or drones, research into brain functions and consciousness, and military or industrial uses like enhancing soldier reaction speed or operating complex machinery. Chinese media reported that the Chinese Academy of Sciences Brain Science Center with Huashan Hospital and Enterprises conducted China's first prospective clinical trial for invasive brain-computer interfaces, making China the second country globally to reach this stage. The brain-computer interface industry chain includes upstream sectors like chips, EEG equipment, operating systems, software, and data analysis, midstream brain-computer interface product providers, and downstream applications in healthcare, education, gaming, smart homes, and defense. Region Cell Bioscience, an early-stage bioscience company based in Hong Kong, focuses on herbal treatments for neurological disorders like ADHD and autism, but has pivoted to brain-computer interfaces, sparking market frenzy despite no revenue and a 2024 net loss of 4.3 million US dollars. Nanjing Panda Electronics Jiangsu key R&D project on multi-modal brain-computer interface systems integrating EEG, voice, and gesture is in the terminal development phase, targeting medical rehabilitation and smart wearables. Microport Neurotech, a leader in neurointerventional devices, is poised to leverage synergies in brain-computer interface development. McKinsey predicts the global brain-computer interface medical market will reach 40 to 145 billion US dollars by 2030 to 2040. China's plan to shorten new drug clinical trial approval cycles led to declines in CSPC Pharmaceutical down 6.4%, Luye Pharma down 11%, China Biopharma down 5.3%. Faster approvals may intensify competition, especially for smaller firms facing funding and R&D pressures, raising concerns about profitability, particularly for early-stage biotech firms. The three major U.S. indexes fell amid escalating Middle East tensions, Trump's hardline comments on Iran, the approaching Federal Reserve interest rate decision, and weak economic data, leading to cautious market sentiment. The Dow closed down 299 points or 0.7% at 42,215. The S&P 500 fell 50 points or 0.8% to 5,982, and the Nasdaq dropped 180 points or 0.9% to 19,521. The Nasdaq Golden Dragon China Index fell 130 points or 1.8% to 7,252. Tesla fell 3.9%, Apple 1.4%, Meta 0.7%, Amazon 0.6%, Alphabet 0.5%, Nvidia 0.4%, and Microsoft 0.2%. AMD, after surging 8.8% on Monday, rose 0.6%. Geopolitical tensions drove oil prices up over 4%, with WTI July crude futures closing at $74.84 US dollars per barrel, and Brent August futures at 76.45 US dollars. The International Energy Agency's annual report supported the rise, forecasting global oil demand to peak at 105.6 million barrels per day in 2029, slightly declining in 2030, with supply capacity rising to 114.7 million barrels per day by 2030. The energy sector was the only S&P 500 sector to rise, up about 1%. U.S. economic data showed May retail sales falling 0.9% month on month, the largest drop in 4 months, exceeding the expected 0.7% decline as consumers cut spending amid tariff policies. April data was revised to a 0.1% decline. May industrial production fell 0.2%, missing the expected 0.1% growth after a 0.1% rise in April. April business inventories were flat in line with expectations after a 0.1% rise. Retail inventories were unchanged after a 0.3% drop in March. Manufacturer inventories fell 0.1% and wholesaler inventories rose 0.2% after a 0.3% increase. The NHB Wells Fargo Housing Market Index dropped 2 points to 32 in June, the lowest since December 2022, missing expectations of a rise to 36 due to high interest rates, tariffs, and economic uncertainty impacting demand. Our stock pick today is NetDragon, stock code 777. NetDragon is aligning with the AI development trend, establishing a dual core business strategy of AI plus gaming and AI plus education to seize opportunities brought by the AI wave. In gaming, the company has comprehensively adopted cutting-edge AI tools, significantly enhancing production efficiency and content quality while actively exploring AI-native games. Its core IP, Eudemons, has undergone a series of optimizations, further strengthening ecosystem balance and significantly improving player experience. In 2024, the overall monthly active users (MAU) for the Eudemons IP increased by 10.1% year-on-year, with Eudemons PC mobile cross platform version seeing a 37.5% MAU increase. In education, the group has integrated advanced AI tools to build an automated production line and initiated the development of interactive educational games. These games focus on interactive experiences and learner-centric approaches, enabling immersive learning, breaking away from traditional teaching product formats, and aiming to create an educational metaverse platform. In July last year, the group successfully won the bid for the National Smart Education Public Service Platform Upgrade Project, continuing to contribute to the national strategy of promoting AI-driven educational transformation. Overseas, the group partnered with Thailand's Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation to develop an online AI education platform, providing vocational skills training for Thai university students and adult users. Additionally, the group's US-listed subsidiary, Mind AI, officially launched next-generation interactive display, Active Panel 10, and the Active Suite software solution in January 2025. These will gradually increase the proportion of SaaS revenue and position Mind AI as a global leader in AI classroom technology. In 2024, the group's overall revenue declined by 14.8% year-on-year to 6 billion yuan, mainly due to industry challenges faced by Mind AI and proactive adjustments in the gaming business. Nevertheless, the implementation of the AI Plus strategy improved operational efficiency, reducing sustainable business employee costs by nearly 100 million yuan. Financial costs also decreased due to optimized capital structure, and increased investment income during the year led to a 19.1% year-on-year increase in pre-tax profit to 756 million yuan. Net cash rose by 13.3% to 2.1 billion yuan, while operating cash flow remained stable at 1.1 billion yuan. The full-year dividend for 2024 was 0.9 Hong Kong dollars per share, offering a current dividend yield of 8.7%. The group is committed to providing sustainable dividends, maintaining a high payout ratio, and may conduct share buybacks depending on market conditions to actively reward shareholders. Recommended buy at 10.1 Hong Kong dollars, target 11.1 dollars, stop loss at 9.6 dollars. I do not hold the above stock.